Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings. I pray that all is well and everyone is in the best of health and spirits. It is your sister, Denise Renee Muhammad, and our brother Sean Ali of Supreme Health and Fitness. We're coming on today for a little health and wellness power hour. And today, our topic is how to live more than 100 years based on the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. So as you come in, yes, how to eat to live. Share the video. Share the video. Sharing is caring. All right, brother Sean. Assalamu alaikum.
Well, alaikum assalam, sis.
Yes, sir. Let's get into this topic. We're not gonna waste any time. How to
True.
eat to live and how to live more than 100 years from that's chapter 19 of
Yes,
How to Eat
ma'am.
to Live, book one.
Book one, How to Eat to Live, page 52 and book one, page 52.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to read real quick. Greetings
Okay.
to everybody, man. We thank everybody that tunes in. I mean,
Yes.
and we going to jump right in it because this is exciting. This is something that, yeah. And as we get into it, you'll see why. And it says, Allah has taught me in the person of Master Farad Muhammad how to eat to live so that I also may teach you. Man, that's awesome right there.
That's powerful.
He desires to extend our lives from a short span averaging 62 years to a span of 1,000 years. And for those that ready to say, oh, y'all crazy, he said, or for as long as we desire to live. He
Right.
said, there is no set time for us to die. We kill ourselves daily by means of what we think, what we eat, and what we drink. So, and that's a beautiful, man, that is beautiful. And I want to piggyback that with the very word, and this is page 25. It says experience of venturing from right food. And this was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad testimony about when he stopped eating one
Right.
meal every day, when he broke the dietary laws and what was happening to him. So he was giving testimony, but I want to go into what he said at the beginning of this chapter. He says the very words, how to eat to live, is one of the great values in words for us. In these words, we see and we are learning that what we put in us as food, at what time we eat that food, and what type of food we eat is the key to our life and death. Oh my goodness. We can use these words, how to eat to live, to spell how we destroy ourselves.
Wow.
Listen, man, this is then, and I want to go into the next chapter, then we're gonna jump right into it. He says we must look at these words and teachings of how to eat to live in a more serious way. This is why we suffer so much sickness and death. It is because we do not take how to eat to live in a more serious way. Right. There is no common sickness that cannot be healed by proper eating of the right food. So that's what we wanted to attempt to do with this show, to look at it in a more serious way, right? So when we see this, how to eat to live, or how to live more than 100 years, and he says that Master Farad Muhammad desires to extend our lives from an average of 62 to 1,000, or what we desire to live. So we got to understand that with those words of the other preceding chapter, it's not, when he says he wants to extend it, it's not him outside of us doing something. He's giving us the science to apply it so we can remove death.
Yes.
You remove your sickness, you remove your illness, you remove your death. What do you mean, Brother Sean? Because he said when we were ready to die, that's when we broke the dietary laws. Because I didn't have nothing else to live for. There is no set time for you and I to die. Now, so when we're looking at this, let's look at the category. Because you got 8. This is a number. You got numerical and you got biological. Right? So over here, this is how many times around the sun.
Right.
Right? So your numerical age, that's what when you come out the womb, that's what some celebrate, that some acknowledge or whatever. This is the numerical age, right? So your biological age, this is the condition of your cells. Whoa! So now, what this means is when you see somebody that's 50 and looks 20, see, their numerical age is 50, but the condition of their cells is that of a 20-year-old. So they look 20.
Right.
Flip side, when you see somebody 20 and they look 50, their numerical age is 20, but the condition of their cells is of a 50-year-old. So listen, this one, now look at the difference. This determines this. You can control your numerical age. Don't look at this 100 years and think that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was talking crazy. Don't look at 1,000 years and think that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was talking crazy, because you control the condition of your cells by your lifestyle. How to eat to live. He said what we eat, how we eat, what time we eat determines the condition of our cells, whether we are sick, healthy, have an imbalance or not, right? So look, I just want to add while we're here real quick, sis.
Yes.
This is page 37. The key to better health. Woo, listen to this.
We had the keys.
What a wonderful. He says right here, we make ourselves sick. Do not think that sickness is something that just comes by itself. See, they tell you old age sicknesses. No, they trick you to think when you get in your 40s and your 50s and your 60s, you're supposed to have these sicknesses and diseases. No, listen. He says, regardless to how he said, now listen, do not think that that sickness is something that just comes by itself, regardless to how we live. It is the way we live that makes us sick. That is your lifestyle. So when you hear me say that we can only live as long as our lifestyle, we can only live as long as our lifestyle supports life.
Right.
That's the condition. Your lifestyle determines the condition of your cells. The condition of your cells determines your numerical age. So when we look at how to live more than 100 years, and we look at it from a scientific perspective and not an emotional perspective, because when I say that, you might look at yourself in your life and you might not love yourself in your life. You might look at Black people and you might think Black people aren't worthy because of the condition we've been placed in the history that we've been misled to believe about ourselves. So we know that we've been conditioned to hate ourselves and what looks like us.
Right.
We've been fed a religion doctrine that paints God and angels everything but Black. You can go and find a Buddha that looks like those people. You can find relics of different people. You go to the Mayans, their sculptures look like Mayans. We don't have anything that represents that. We don't, and now that we got, some of us don't even want to find ourselves in those places. So we can't look at the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and How to Eat to Live from that perspective, because this is not a religious teaching. This is a scientific teaching where he teaches us the science of life. That, hey, don't just think that because of how you're, or irrespective, or you're just living and these things are supposed to happen. No, they have what they call, because I want us to understand this, that there is such a thing called premature death, right? It's called YPLL. It's called years of productive life. Hey, sis, look.
Yes.
Hey, Sister Denise.
Yes, sir.
They have a category on premature death. The acronym for it is YPLL. If y'all research this, it stands for years of productive life loss. So, and this is going, I'm sorry, what'd you say, sis?
No, I was reading that. Years of productive life lost.
Yes. Okay. And it's going, it says that in industrialized countries, the average lifespan is 75 years. So this means that they expect you to live to at least 75. So they say if you die at 55, right, that this 20 years is a deficit. It's 20 years of productive life that you lost. Do you hear me now? Listen.
Yes.
They expect us to live to 75. If you die before 75, that's premature death, and they put you in the YPLL category. And whatever this number is, that's how many years of productive life you lost. So when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, hey, how to live more than 100 years, that's not far-fetched.
Sure isn't.
If we take it and we look at it from a scientific perspective, we can easily bear witness that he was absolutely correct. There is no set time for us to die. That we kill ourselves daily by what we think, what we eat, what we drink. Right.
And we've been programmed to think, oh, once you hit 50, you're going downhill. And, you know, just change that perception, change those thoughts, you know.
And this is what that, if we look at that for those that watch, do your research on that. Because this is a real scientific category, right? It blew my mind when I discovered it. Because I thought premature death was just not a myth, but just something that wasn't really science, that wasn't measurable. And that's what science gives us measurable content, something we can go and experiment with, research, that we can play with, you know, that we can, not just something we just have to can't see.
Think about, and that's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did. He experimented with himself. So when he tells us not to eat this, not to eat that, he knows why, because he experimented to see, you know, how it felt, or how he would feel eating more than one meal a day, you know. So that's what gods do, experiment.
He bears witness in that chapter, experimenting, that I read from. He says that. He says when he did eat one meal a day, he felt a certain way. When he went to one meal every 2 days, he was feeling better. When he went to one meal every 3 days, he was like, man,
like he could hear insects crawling.
And for those that experience that, man, and that goes, see, for those that may be listening and that don't believe in the teachings, what we got to understand is that, just like we see at the title of this book, from God in person, Master Farad Muhammad. So he came not just necessarily for us to worship him. He said, I come to raise a nation of gods. I come to put you back on top. In some of the lessons, he refers to us here as his uncle, right?
Yes.
So when we look, he came to place us for those listening. That was one of the attractive things about the nation, because everything else was keeping me enslaved in my mind, not because somebody else was telling me. They were keeping me enslaved to my desires, because as a Christian, I could still fornicate, smoke, drink. All I had to do was go confess.
Right.
And then I would be relieved, and I could do it all over again.
Wow.
Right? So it didn't clean me up. Surely I've turned myself, striving to be upright to he who originated the heavens and the earth. Islam gave me that. That's mental food. So, okay, the Bible says you can't put new wine in old wineskin. So if your church, if your synagogue, if your temple, if your masjid is not teaching you how to change this new wineskin, if it's not teaching you how to eat to live, the scripture says, it gives us why. Because if you put new wine in old wineskin, it will spoil the new wine. So, Master Farad Muhammad, he came. Listen, he supped with us. He ate with us. He saw what we were eating, the worst foods. He saw our physical condition. And just like a doctor, he prescribed. He saw the medicine. He saw our medicine cabinets. He measured how many pills we were taking and what the effect it was on us. Listen, family, man. And he gave us a prescription that was working, that does work if we apply it. So he says in here that you will look like you 16, man. Listen, okay, I wanted us to know that it's possible for us to have premature death. So it's also possible for us to exceed this number and have abundant life. So we know that. I'm sorry, sis, you can jump in at any time.
Yes. And so how do we get to that? That's what we need, the solutions.
We back the condition of ourselves.
Right.
Lifestyle. What type of lifestyle do you have?
Right.
What type it is, and that's when we look, he says there's no set time for us to die. We kill ourselves daily by what we think, eat, and drink. So when we're looking at the eating and drinking part, that's just two aspects. The thinking part, that's what covers the rest of your lifestyle.
Right.
Do you like to go out? Do you like to stay up late at night? Do you sit all day? Do you not breathe right? What type of thoughts do you have? Do you have a 5-year plan, 10-year, 20? How long in your future do you see yourself? Are you growing your own food? See, you know what I mean? Like, these are the things that create that lifestyle, that thinking part.
Right. That's it.
What type of what type of material do we put on our skin? What type of clothes, the material of the clothes that we wear?
What are we cleaning our homes with?
The
toxins, everything.
Right. Since you have things that some of the oils, the essential oils, they can clean.
Yes, lemon oil. Instead of using bleach, use lemon oil. That's a good cleaner. Lemon oil, You can put it in a diffuser as well. I mean, there's so many ways to use the essential oils to not have to go buy those
Mhm.
toxic cleaners and stuff of that nature. So
Hey
that's one of my
sis,
yes.
I'm sorry. Soon as you said that, you know what popped in my head? I'm sorry.
No,
When
go
you
ahead.
said instead of the bleach, because he said we kill ourselves by what we think. We think bleach is good for us.
Right.
We
If it
think
don't have
bleach.
that
See,
smell, that pine smell, that bleach smell.
see, this is that lifestyle. What
Yeah.
type of see? So when we looking at okay, because many of us we eat to live. Many of us we look at the farmers. You look at your farmer today, they look just as unhealthy as those that are striving to eat right. You
Hmm.
got vegans that overweight, out of shape, because it's not just what you eating. The messenger says the time you eat, how you eat it, but also what we think.
Right.
So if you think that you have a healthy lifestyle because you got bleach and Comet and Pine Sol, if you
Right.
think you got a healthy lifestyle because you smudging and carbon monoxide or dioxide kills you. So yes, you
Wow.
can be smudging, but that's unhealthy because you learn in school when you see smoke, you stop, drop, and
Drop
roll.
and
You don't
roll.
inhale it.
What? Come on, brother Sean.
I'm not,
Stop, drop, and roll.
okay. I'm not trying to offend my
No, that's
smudgers. Do your research. We
yes,
are
sir.
taught in school, Smokey the Bear. You see fire, stop, drop, and roll. You don't wave it around your house, and you can't cleanse your house with a toxic material.
Right. I was trying to find my sage oil. Can get the
That,
sage oil, put it in the diffuser.
come on, sis. Come on,
Put
sis.
it
Come
in the
on, sis.
diffuser and it's doing the same thing. It's cleansing or the toxins in the air, it's purifying your air. That negative energy is raising the energy. So you can do the same thing more a
Without,
healthier way to do it.
without killing yourself. I say
Right,
it for you.
without the smoke.
Yeah.
Look,
How they say we want all the smoke. You
right?
can no,
Yeah,
no, you don't want all the smoke.
you want all this
Yes,
molecule.
yes. And you don't even sis, don't miss you don't even have to use it.
Right, you don't even have to use that. Just open the top.
And walk around your house just like you
Yes,
would with the smudger.
right. Start just inhale,
Right. And
so. And
I
I
use
have
a I
with the Palo Santo, we have the Palo
ooh,
Santo oil. That's another
ooh,
one that's usually smudged.
right,
Of
right,
course, lavender. Lavender,
right,
smudging lavender too. So, I mean, just put it in a diffuser. It's
right,
healthier and you don't have all that smoke in the air.
right. And for those who maybe don't believe us, look up PHAs and HCAs. That hydrocarbon something and that poly something something.
Right.
But I,
I can't
I
pronounce it either, so I'm not gonna even try.
it's the smoke. This is the two toxic elements from the smoke
Right.
that make smoking meat, smoking, smudging, these are the two most dangerous, cancerous,
Mhm.
carcinogenic elements that come from smoke, that
Right.
make smoke of any type dangerous, which is why they tell you to stop, drop, and roll.
Hmm.
But how to live more than 100 years? I just want to read this one more time, sis. Then we can
Yes,
we
go
can
ahead.
we can begin to close out because this was going to be a short broadcast. We just wanted to come because listen, we specialize in, for those listening, we specialize in the therapies that help you create a healthy lifestyle, because it's so many avenues that you can go to your doctor and see Sister Denise and see your brother Sean Ali.
Right.
It's so many avenues that you can. We're not trying to get you to eliminate what you are doing. We are saying,
Right.
hey, we don't just have the broadcast, but we have the therapies that we
To
are
go along.
talking about.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
just
I
want
was
us to,
looking up, Brother Sean. I was Googling while you were talking the PAH,
right.
polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. I don't know.
There you go.
And the top, at the
Dangerous.
top of here, it says cancer in Illinois. Wait a minute.
Dangerous. And that's from burning almost anything. That's just what is one of the elements from burning something. Meat, especially
Right.
meats. When you smell that meat, you be like, man, that smells good. It does. Death, listen, death can be sweet and pleasurable. That's not always pain, because we're smudging sage and it does smell good, right? But in that smelling good, we got two of the most dangerous particles.
Right. And I'm gonna read this real quick, Brother Sean.
Go ahead. Yes,
It
ma'am.
says polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, are made whenever substances are burned. So we're
That's
not
simple.
making this up.
That's
Brother
simple.
Sean isn't making that up for everybody that
That's
smudges.
simple. I study for those. Listen, your brothers. I don't want to die. When I discovered how to live more than 100 years, that put me on the path, because he says in there, the most important thing that he says in here is, or one of the most important things, he says he desires to extend our lives from a short span averaging 62 years to a span of 1,000 years, or for as long as we desire to live. So now we're looking at the key. Now we're looking at how long do you want to live? Woo! Come on, man. Listen, that now, see, now we at the root foundation. How long do you want to live? That's going to help you create your lifestyle. If you say, I don't know, and somebody walks up to you and say, hey, try this, you might just try it, because you don't know how long you want to live.
Wow.
So that means you will put yourself in a situation where you will end up killing yourself, because that's how we die. Right? So when we're looking at that, if you don't know how long you want to live, you won't grow your own food. You won't do any of the things that me and Sister Denise talk about. You won't contact Sister Denise. You won't contact me. Like, you just gonna keep on doing what you're doing until you go ahead and die.
Get
And
the
as
same
your brother,
results.
I'm cool. Hey, if you're happy, I'm happy. But for those that want to extend their life, it's not magical, mystical, fantastical. It's not miracle. It's not miracle based, none of that. It is scientific. It starts with right here. How long do you want to live? We got therapies and material that can assist. Ain't that right, sis?
Yes,
you got journals. You can write your journal out. Hey, sis, right? Where you got your show?
Book. Oh, we have the book, the journal, the workbook. Look, I use it. It's under all my other books. Writing my life has worksheets in it where you can write. So yes, we have what you need right here. Create your own
Right.
mental wellness.
There you go. And that's the thinking part. See, and
Right.
that's more important, or not more important, because he says it throughout How to Eat to Live, that it's the mental, what we feed ourselves mentally, that's just as important as what we feed ourselves physically. Because he said we can eat all the good food, but if we aren't eating the right mental food, we still making ourselves sick. We still
Right.
making ourselves aging. We still making ourselves suffer that
Mhm.
premature death. Remember, 75, they expect you to live to 75.
And the Honorable
It's
Elijah
just,
Muhammad says that's when we learn how to live at 70.
come
We
on,
don't
sis.
learn
How
how to
long it
live
take?
until 75.
Come
Isn't
on
that something?
now.
That's just powerful statement within itself.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says it takes us 75 years to learn how to
How to
live.
live
This world
says
expects you to live and
die,
die by 75.
not even
Wow.
live, just existing and die.
And it makes us think that 100 is crazy. If you
Right?
start talking 100, people think you crazy,
Mhm.
sis. Because
Yeah.
they looking like, I don't know nobody that lived to 100. Well, that's your
Right.
short friends list. It's almost 8 billion people on the planet Earth. You can't
That's
tell
right.
me all. No, no. That's, but
Right.
listen, family, for those listening, we just wanted to come, like the message, like we said in the, he wanted us to look at How to Eat to Live in a more serious way. It's
Right.
not just about Navy bean soup and Navy bean patties and what I'm eating this and what I'm eating that. No, if we know that we have an unlimited lifespan,
Hmm.
there's no set time for us to die. In the believing community, we should be emboldened with the man. That's what gets me up every day, because I know that there's no set time for me to die, that I can control my life and my death by what I think, eat, and drink.
Right.
That's what the God that we say we believe in came to gift us with. Man, that's what scripture, that's how we know he's God, because scripture promised us life abundant. I didn't find it in the church because everybody in the church is almost overweight, diabetes, high blood pressure. When they talk about black people in those numbers, that's the
Mhm.
church community. I'm sorry. Look at Brother TDJ. That's the church. When you look at them church functions, those Sunday church dinners,
Mhm.
that's the church community. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad. When you look at the Muslims under him, man,
Right.
crack black and exact. Woo!
What?
Makes sense.
Right, when we
Man,
applying it, definitely.
let's we just had this is a short show, sis. I know we both got
Yes.
things to do.
Oh, yes, it's been great. Always when we come on, exchanging that energy. So yes, sir.
Mm,
But
yes, yeah.
peace, sisters shouting us out. Thank you for tuning in. Thank everybody for tuning in.
Yes,
We
thank you,
greatly
thank you.
appreciate it. And you can contact myself or Brother Sean if you need any of the therapies that we mentioned. We have both of us have books on Amazon, and of course, you can contact us directly. With that
Mm-hmm.
being said, until next time, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
All right.